What is going on, you guys? This is Mark with the Chumpcast, and I am back again with your comic book picks of the week. So stay tuned, and let's do this. Before we get started, if you can please go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. It really helps the show out. Hit that notification bell as well, and smash that like button. You can also find more of my content right here at MarkNerdyAF. That's my Instagram handle. And I also do a podcast called The Chumpcast. We post episodes weekly, and we talk about everything going on in nerd culture. From TV, movies, comic books, anime, video games, you name it, we talk about it. You can check out those episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, anywhere you can listen to a podcast, it is there. So go ahead and check it out. So let's get started. First one up for our indie titles is CHU #1. This is written by John Layman, and art is done by Dan Boltwood. So this is a follow-up to the 2009 CHU series, spelled CHEW, which has gotten rave reviews since its conclusion in 2016. Now 4 years later, we get a sequel to that series titled CHU, but CHU. And it revolves around Saffron Yu, who is the sister of police detective and Cibopath Tony Chu. If you don't know what a Cibopath is, it's basically someone that has a superpower ability to see where a consumed good has been, or they can also psychically perceive the contents, composition, and history of it via tasting, eating, and or drinking. So I have not read the initial series from 2009, but I figured I'd check out this new series, and I'm glad I did. The first issue is a great time from start to finish, including some pretty hilarious dialogue, a strong universe setup, intense action, and an art style by Boltwood that makes these characters jump right off the page. CHU has instantly been added to my pull list, and I suggest you do the same. So it's been a small week for my indies, but last up is Middlewest #18. This is written by Skottie Young, and art is done by Jorge Corona. So Middlewest tells the tale of Abel, who is a young boy and adventurer, who is searching for answers about his family's history and efforts to stop a coming storm that speaks his name. Man, do I need to catch up on some of these indie series. I've not started Middlewest yet, but I do have Volume 1 sitting in my nightstand as I speak. Over the years, I have heard how amazing this series has been, and last week I saw that this week's issue, number 18, was going to be the final issue of the series. So I figured this would be a good one to have in my collection. I'm not going to read this issue until I'm caught up though, but if you're unlike me and you are caught up on Middlewest and you have just read this issue that dropped today on Wednesday, let me know what you thought of the series. Did you like it? Is it worth all the hype that I've been seeing? I want to hear from you, so comment below. Oh, no spoilers. So on to Marvel Daredevil 21. This is written by Chip Zdarsky, and art is done by Marco Checchetto. This is probably one of my favorite Daredevil covers that I've ever seen. Checchetto does an awesome job at bringing this character to life, and Daredevil is back in his full costume. I also love the type of splatter and smoky effects that he uses with his art. With that said, you knew it was coming. My cover of the week, baby. And as for the series, geez, this is really starting to heat up. We get the aftermath of the Battle of Hell's Kitchen, but damn, the drama ain't over for Matt Murdock. Daredevil is dealt some serious charges and is willingly arrested. And while heading over to the courthouse, he is torn what is the right thing to do, as many of him want him to face trial with his mask off. Quick trivia. When Matt Murdock's secret identity was accidentally revealed to Foggy and Karen, what lie did he come up with to get out of it? Was it A, he said his twin brother was Daredevil? Was it B, he used Hydra's memory suppressing machine? Was it C, he killed them both? Or was it D, he used the time stone to go back in time and prevent this reveal from ever happening? If you guessed A, you're right. In the 1967 Daredevil number 25, Spider-Man figures out that Matt Murdock is really Daredevil and decides to leave Matt a note to assure him that his secret is safe with him. Unfortunately, the note is found by Foggy Nelson and Karen Page before it reaches Matt. And now Foggy and Karen are onto Matt's secret for the first time. Matt, not willing to share his secret with his friends yet, he tells them Daredevil is actually his twin brother, Mike Murdock. In doing so, Matt goes full out with his Mike persona to make the story believable, but eventually the stress of keeping the lie going becomes too much for Matt, and he decides to fake Mike's death. And after doing so, Matt has to become Daredevil somehow again, so he basically just tells Karen and Foggy that Mike always had a person that he wanted to be his successor, who is this new Daredevil that shows up. This guy is full of shit. Alright, well, back to this issue. This series has just been done right ever since its start. The characters, the art, the stakes, everything is perfect. If there is one Marvel series that I would recommend, it is this right here. And last up for Marvel is Spider-Man Sin's Rising Prelude. This is written by Nick Spencer and art is done by Guillermo Sana. Is this the most overhyped Marvel book out right now? I think so. Don't get me wrong, Nick Spencer has done some really great things in comics, but this was supposed to be that issue of Spider-Man that finally got you excited for the long-awaited return of Sin Eater. And in my opinion, this just missed the mark. This whole issue is pretty much just about Sin Eater and his origins, and I did appreciate some of the detailed storytelling and callbacks to older comics featuring Sin Eater, but after putting down this issue, I just really didn't care for the character as much as I was hoping to. If you've been following this series since the start, I'm not going to advise you to drop this title or anything like that. I'm just praying that this arc has some payoff before it's wrapped up for good. And finishing up this week for DC, we have Batgirl 47. This is written by Cecil Castellucci and art is done by Robbie Rodriguez. So if you are unaware, pretty much every Batman family character that has a series on the shelves is getting a Joker War tie-in, whether you like it or not. As for this issue, this was one of those tie-ins, and it was a tie-in that I actually liked a lot more than some of the other issues that we've been getting as a Joker War tie-in. In Batgirl 47, we have Joker breaking his way into Batgirl's apartment and of course displays his sick and twisted mind by bringing up some detailed events that have left Barbara psychologically scarred, example being what happened in The Killing Joke. Joker also takes control of Babs' motor functions in a really disturbing way, but she's not fazed by this at all. No matter what Joker says or does, Babs pretty much just finds a way to confront her past and control her emotions, ultimately giving a big F you to the Joker. Overall, I just really love the inner dialogue that we get from Babs in this issue, and this one really hits home if you're a Batgirl fan. Next up is Detective Comics 1024. This is written by Peter J. Tomasi, and art is done by Brad Walker. Yeah, I was a little hard on the last Detective Comics issue that we got. I think it came out 2 weeks ago. However, this one had some great action, I'm not going to lie, and I actually really appreciated the unusual Batman team-up that we get. Plus, the art is pretty flawless. You again get this B-cover variant that Bermejo's doing. He's done, I think, the last 6 or 7. They've all been really badass. And Two-Face also gets a pretty satisfying ending to a story arc that we've seen in the series. If you're in the mood for some light dialogue and full-blown action, this is the popcorn comic you've been looking for. Simple as that. Last but certainly not least is Batman 95. This is written by James Tynion IV and art is done by Jorge Jimenez. So Matina, if you guys have been picking up the B covers for the series, has been really killing it. This is one that I saw, I would say like 2 months ago, and I put in an order immediately. I think this is my favorite cover that he's done so far. Joker strapped up with some dynamite. There's fire at his feet. Holy shit. It's just pretty freaking amazing. It was really hard for me to not make this my cover of the week. However, that Daredevil cover, man, I have not read a Daredevil series that good. And when I saw that cover, I was like, Jesus, this is literally my picture perfect Daredevil. This is what Daredevil looks like to me. And I thought the art throughout that whole series has been spectacular. And that cover just happened to be the icing on the cake. So I had to give it to him. But I'm telling you guys, pick this cover up if you're going into your comic book shop and getting Batman 95. Make sure you hunt down this cover right here. It's one to keep. With that said, if you are following any of the Joker War events, make sure you guys read this one first before any of the tie-ins. To start off, we get some fantastic art by Jimenez. We get a flashback of Batman driving a badass Batmobile that kind of has a Batman and Robin movie feel to it. And so he's on his way to deal with some of Joker's chaotic schemes. So I think the purpose of this flashback is to pretty much just show us how long Batman's been dealing with Joker's shit. And who knows, maybe this is going to be the last time that Batman and him face off. I don't know. Yeah, you know that's not going to happen. I also want to mention in the flashback you get Alfred, so if you don't want to cry while reading this, you probably might want to skip ahead a few pages. It instantly hits the feels. God damn it, dude. Back to present day, we now see how much control Joker and Punchline have over Gotham and Wayne Enterprises now that they possess Bruce Wayne's fortune. And we also get an introduction to that blue, sparkly batsuit that everyone's been talking about and bitching about online. But what does it mean? You'll just have to find out. All in all, I thought this was a great opening issue to the Joker War. Stakes are super high and the Joker is holding all the cards, and I think we're absolutely in for an intense ride. Alright guys, that's it for this week. Let me know what you thought. Please leave a comment below. Tell me what you guys picked up. Did you pick up the same books that I have here? Or am I missing something? I want to hear from you. And before you go, guys, please go ahead and click that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps the show out. Click that notification bell so you can get updates whenever I post new videos. I have something pretty exciting in the works, and it involves actually a segment that I do in these videos. I'll give you a hint. Well, I'll just tell you. It's freaking trivia. And it's going to be some awesome trivia, and I'm going to be doing it with some great people. And I think it will be a fun time for you to sit down and watch these videos with your family, friends, and kind of play along while I go through all these trivia questions. And with that said, I also want to give a big thanks to all of you guys that have subscribed in the past few months. It means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. So thank you. All right, you guys, well, I'll see you back here again next week. But until then, jumps out.